Have you ever paused to consider the profound weight of what remains unsaid?
Hmm.
Not just the words we choose, but, the silent echoes of unspoken emotions, maybe long-buried secrets.
Yeah, and those lingering feelings that can shape our present and future in ways we often don't even realize.
Exactly. It's almost as if silence itself isn't empty, but filled with its own unique, sometimes really deafening noise.
It's a truly powerful concept because silence, well, it's rarely just the absence of sound, is it?
Right.
More often, it's a charged space, like a reservoir of unexpressed truths and hidden histories that continue to exert influence.
Precisely, and that's the fascinating territory we're diving into today. This deep dive takes us into a compelling narrative, an excerpt titled The Noise of Silence.
Okay.
It's a remarkable window into complex human relationships and the profound, sometimes, destructive impact that concealed truth can have.
Sounds intriguing.
So, our mission today is to truly unpack the intricate layers of this story. We want to explore how silence can create its own distinct noise, and the profound ways our past can reverberate through our present, often with surprising force.
And what's remarkable about this piece, right from the start, is how it immediately immerses you in that charged atmosphere. You're right there in a library, the air heavy with the scent of aged paper and beeswax.
You can almost smell it.
You really can. The only sounds are the rhythmic ticking of a clock and maybe the occasional crackle from a nearby fire.
Yeah.
And outside, the rain begins its slow descent, blurring the garden outside the windows. It's all very visual.
Atmospheric.
And within this quiet, almost suffocating stillness, you have the two central figures, Eleanor and Marcus. And right from the start, you feel this, well, palpable tension.
Palpable is the right word. There's this heat that Eleanor herself questions. Is it just the fire? Or is it, the man seated across from her?
That opening alone tells you so much about the subtext, doesn't it?
It really does. It immediately signals this isn't just a standard meeting. It's like a collision of histories.
Yeah.
And the story wastes no time setting up Eleanor's reason for being there. She's the heir, right? To Marcus's recently deceased brother.
Who was her husband?
Who was her husband, exactly.
Yeah.
And from the moment she arrives, you feel this initial, almost physical tension.
Yeah.
She adjusts her dress and that heat she feels.
Hmm.
The narrative makes it clear she's genuinely wondering if it's the fire or if it's Marcus himself. It's a tiny detail, but wow.
It speaks volumes. It's showing, not telling at its best. And Marcus himself, the description paints him so vividly.
How so?
While he had not changed, not truly, he has these long, ink-stained hands, suggesting a scholar's life, but his eyes are like storm clouds.
Storm clouds suggest some inner turmoil.
Definitely. But what really captures the weight of their shared, unaddressed history is that tiny moment with the tea.
Oh, right.
He passes her the cup, and his wrist brushes hers for just a heartbeat too long.
Just a fraction of a second.
But her reaction is so visceral. She pulls her hand back as though scalded.
Scalded. That's not just awkwardness.
No, not at all. It's like this sudden rupture of composure, a stark reminder of a connection that's been, I guess, repressed, a spark that's still there.
As though scalded. That image is just so powerful, isn't it? From a touch that should be completely casual,
Yeah.
it instantly screams of this deep, troubled past. And then the narrative drops another sharp, almost painful flashback.
The scar.
The scar on his jaw, yes. Marcus's jaw is taut, and Eleanor's internal thought, and this is so incredibly telling, is that she had traced it once, years ago.
Under the hayloft shadows.
Exactly. And she remembers him murmuring her name like a curse.
Ooh, that's heavy.
It really is. This isn't just history. It's raw, unresolved history, fraught with emotion, regret, maybe even that lingering, forbidden longing.
Absolutely. It suggests this whole secret chapter in their lives that's still pulsing right beneath the surface. The past here isn't just memory. It's an active, living force.
Permeating everything.
Yes. And Marcus carries his own burdens, too, visible and invisible. After the war, he withdrew feeling swallowed whole by the house, a kind of self-imposed isolation.
And a stiff leg.
Right, his physical souvenir from the trenches. It's a constant, tangible reminder of how the war scarred him physically, and you suspect emotionally, too.
It's like a physical manifestation of his internal confinement. Adds to that suffocating silence around him.
Precisely. So against this backdrop of simmering tension and years of unspoken stuff, what finally brings them face to face?
It's the inheritance. Something very concrete, very heavy.
Yeah.
The ledger.
Ah, ledger.
Marcus places it in Eleanor's hands, tells her it contains everything. The land, the copyrights, the lot, all the tangible assets of his brother, her late husband.
But the real weight isn't in the figures, is it? It's in the secrets surrounding the absent brother, the one who connected them both.
And Eleanor asked that question, the one that's probably been burning inside her. Why did he never mention you?
Such a direct question. And Marcus's reply, so terse, almost biting. He had his reasons.
Ugh. That just shuts it down, doesn't it?
Completely. It's a deliberate act of maintaining that silence, refusing to elaborate. It screams deeper family secrets, estrangement, maybe bitterness.
Things left unaddressed for years. It really speaks volumes about the choices people make to hide truth, even from those closest.
Yeah. And this is where it gets really captivating, peeling back another layer of that silence.
Yeah.
Eleanor pushes a bit. She asks Marcus if he ever wrote to his brother after the war, after he'd withdrawn.
Okay.
And Marcus admits, with a kind of resignation, he didn't answer.
Right.
But then comes the big reveal. The devastating part for Eleanor and for us. She knows more.
What does she know?
She had read the letters once stacked beneath her husband's pillow, unsent, their seals unbroken.
Oh my God, unsent.
Unsent, unopened, and the content. Declarations of envy, of love warped by distance and duty. Just imagine finding that.
Wow. So the brother did receive them in a way, but chose not to open them. Or, wait, Marcus wrote them and the brother didn't answer because he never got them.
The text implies Marcus wrote, and his brother received them but didn't open them. Stacked under the pillow, seals intact.
Okay, so Marcus thinks he was ignored, but the truth is the words were there, just locked away.
Exactly. And what's absolutely fascinating here is the sheer heartbreaking weight of those unsent, or rather unopened, letters.
It forces you to consider the implications,
Yeah.
right? Words written down, full of emotion, but holding zero power because they were never truly received or acknowledged.
Precisely. They were words that might have freed them both, had they been spoken aloud, or in this case, read and responded to.
It's not just a missed opportunity, it's like active destruction caused by silence or by refusing to engage.
Yes. It highlights how omission, or this kind of deliberate non-reception, can be as devastating as saying something cruel, when vital truths are left unsaid or unread.
When emotions are hidden, when reconciliation isn't even attempted.
The cost isn't just regret. It's like a slow poisoning of relationships, a legacy of unresolved pain. It's the ultimate noise of silence, that loud, lingering echo of what should have been communicated.
It's a tragedy, really. All that potential for understanding, for maybe some kind of connection, trapped on paper, never acknowledged. And then the scene shifts, doesn't it, to this very charged, almost volatile encounter between Marcus and Eleanor themselves.
Yes, he turns abruptly to a decanter and they share drinks. The liquor glows amber, a visual warmth against the emotional chill.
He toasts to the dead, which feels heavy, mournful.
But Eleanor counters to the living, though her voice is unsteady. It's like this tiny defiance, isn't it? A little glimmer of hope for the present amidst all the grief.
And that second drink. The story notes it loosened her shoulders, sharpened her senses. Her gird starts to come down.
Yeah, it lowers the barriers just enough, and that's where the narrative just blooms with these incredible sensory details painting the subtext.
Like what?
Eleanor becomes acutely aware of Marcus's smell, malt on his breath now, mingled with the ghost of bay rum.
Okay.
And then her internal thought, which is so revealing, he smelled alive, vital in a way her husband had not been for years.
Wow. That's not just about scent, is it?
Not at all. It's about recognizing this vibrant, compelling presence she hasn't felt in a long time. It hints at a buried longing, maybe a forbidden attraction.
Something that years of silence and duty tried, but failed to completely extinguish.
Exactly. And that recognition leads directly to the breaking point, that moment of intense physical tension that just feels inevitable.
He says her name.
Eleanor. Just her name, but his voice is this low thrum, and his hand closes over hers, his palm warm against her glove.
And the description of that touch seared her. Electric and wrong.
So visceral, electric, because it breaches years of unspoken rules, right, of this carefully built distance.
And wrong because of, well, everything. Society, loyalty, the sheer audacity of it.
It's a moment where the dam of their unspoken history just almost shatters. He stands up, crowding her space, that intimacy, that overwhelming proximity.
And she thinks he might kiss her.
For one mad moment, yes. His gaze dropped to her mouth, lingered and fled. The tension is just, you can practically hear it crackle.
You hold your breath reading it.
Totally. But then, almost immediately, he pulls back. Panicked, almost. I shouldn't have. Followed by a choked, forgive me.
Ah, the apology. You'd think that would break the tension, maybe bring some relief.
You'd think. But the story delivers this gut punch, Eleanor's reaction. The apology lands through her, sharper than rejection.
Sharper than rejection. Why? What does that mean?
Well, think about it. It wasn't just rejecting a potential kiss. It was like a confirmation that the silence would continue, that the desire would remain unspoken, unfulfilled, that any possibility of a different future was being slammed shut right there.
So the forgive me wasn't really remorse.
Maybe not just remorse, it felt like reestablishing the wall between them, the final nail in the coffin of what might have been, perhaps.
Devastating. And she just fumbles for her coat, her voice brittle. She has to leave, shattered by the confirmation of what to never be.
It's just a profound moment of quiet despair. The apology confirms the unspoken stays unspoken, the desire unfulfilled. It really shows how the noise of silence isn't just about what isn't said, but about the active choices made to keep things hidden.
And the consequences just echo on. As Eleanor leaves, the rain is falling harder, drumming on the cab roof.
Yeah, carrying her toward the station. And in her bag, the ledger crinkles, its pages, whispering secrets she dared not decipher.
That's such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Not just the financial secrets, but the unread truths between the brothers. And now the heavy weight of the unspoken between her and Marcus.
She carries it all now. And at the platform, there's that crucial moment of hesitation. She's balanced on the edge of wanting, looking back at the house.
What does she see?
A single light, flickering like a dying star. It's that moment of conflict. Turn back, confront the silence, demand answers, or just let the train carry her away.
And she doesn't turn back.
She doesn't. And as she leaves, the focus shifts back to Marcus, his isolation, standing at the window, watching her go, his hand clenching the curtain.
And the description.
Fabric wrinkling like the letter he would never send.
Wow. That brings it full circle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Back to the unsent or unopened letters from his brother.
Exactly. It reinforces this agonizing cycle of unspoken words, missed connections, these self-imposed emotional prisons that seem to define this family.
It's a tragic loop.
Mm-hmm.
And the final image, the fire in the library.
Right. Guttering, then flaring, consuming the last of the kindling. It gives this powerful sense of an end, something burning away, a chapter closing.
But that final flare, it also suggests that maybe something unresolved, some raw ember, still glows in the dark.
I think so too. The noise of their silence isn't truly over, it's just changed its form. It's a brilliant way to tie it all together, showing the fire like their relationship isn't totally extinguished.
The pain, the longing, the questions, they linger. A testament to the enduring impact of everything left unsaid.
It's not just a story of loss, but of the ghosts that unspoken words leave behind.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the noise of silence, we've seen how this narrative just vividly illustrates the immense, almost crushing power of unspoken words.
Yeah, and unresolved grief, lingering desire, how they shape lives.
This story really reminds us that silence is so far from empty. In fact, it's often this very loud, very active space filled with unexpressed emotions and that heavy weight of what could have been.
Like a constant hum beneath the surface.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this story raises, well, a crucial question for all of us, doesn't it? About the noise of silence in our own lives.
Definitely. What conversations are we avoiding? What difficult feelings are we holding back, maybe thinking it's easier that way?
What letters are we failing to send, literally or metaphorically, in our relationships?
It's a really powerful call to reflection. This story dares us to consider the potential freedom and the profound impact that could come from speaking our truths.
Even when it feels incredibly hard or maybe feels like it's too late.
Because as the noise of silence shows so clearly, what's left unsaid can have a far greater and often much more damaging impact on everyone involved than any words ever could.
It really prompts us to ask, what might change if we dared to make just a little more noise?